questions, please post them. I'm going to share with you 2 things that everyone must know when it comes to weight loss. Now, before I do that, I'm going to share with you a story. So I'm looking at my phone real quick to make sure I'm not missing anything. And I want to wish everybody a happy, loving Saturday. So as I'm shooting this live on a Saturday, anyway, I wanted to wish everyone well. As I record this live, we have a ton of people that are really challenged with weather, and that's not always a good thing. Now, before I share with you these 2 things, I want to again encourage you to ask questions. But I was looking at a study a few days ago, and I shared it with a couple of friends of mine, and it had to do with wine. Now, you hear about all the health benefits of wine. If you even read the Bible, they talk about the health benefits of wine. Wine has these things called polyphenols in it that contributes to overall health in a big way. Actually helps with heart health, cutting down inflammation. There's way more reasons to drink wine than to avoid it. Now, if you don't drink wine, then don't drink wine. If you don't drink out, don't drink it. But there's some benefits. And the reason I'm bringing up wine is because of this study. So in this study, they say they saw all of these health benefits, and then they saw the benefit of wine on your gut bacteria, right? Your gut health, your microbiome. And it was fascinating. It contributed to the gut bacteria in a very positive way. So then the thought was, let's continue with the study and let's remove the alcohol and maybe go with like a grape juice, right? And the polyphenols and all the health benefits will still be there. And then we can promote, drinking the grape juice as a way to help with inflammation, help with gut bacteria, etc. All making sense, right? Well, what they discovered really quick was that when they removed the alcohol, and I'm not saying the alcohol is where all the benefits come from. It's not. But if you separate it and it's no longer whole, like the wine is not the wine through the fermented process and like what it is when we pour it out the bottle. When they removed the alcohol, the gut bacteria did not respond the same. It was not as healthy. So the point that I'm making here is that there is power when it comes to consuming things in their natural state. Okay, so wine is good. And I remember with lycopene, when they looked at tomatoes and they're like, you know what, there's a lot of health benefits here. It could help, reduce the likelihood of prostate cancer and all of these other positives, right? Well, when they extract it, it didn't work the same. So everything is the way everything is because that's the way it was intended to be. Okay, now let's get to why I'm doing this live today. And again, I want to, if I say anything that makes sense to you, that could be of benefit to you, if we could be of service to you, if you want us to connect you with a coach, if you want to work with me as your coach, if you want an online program, if you want to become a coach, then the email is there, reach out and we can share with you information on all of that. Okay, so the very first one I want to talk about is calories in, calories out. Now, those who are around my age, a little younger, and definitely those who are older than me, you grew up and you're under the understanding that weight loss is about eating less and moving more. Eating less and moving more. I'm going to say it one more time. Eating less and moving more. Well, it's not. And unfortunately, all of the medical books, all of the medical curriculums, all of the things that are in place for nurses, for doctors, for fitness trainers, etc., all point to calories in versus calories out as how you lose weight. It's cemented. But in reality, everyone from WHO, World Health Organization, National Institute of Health, Harvard, Yale, and the list goes on and on and on, all agree that weight loss is not about calories in and calories out. But the information is going to take forever for it to get to the next generations, and they look at weight loss differently. And hopefully we are in a better place with it. So why is calories in, calories out not accurate? It's not. Now, I'm going to keep it in layman terms. If you were to consume 100 calories of broccoli and then consume 100 calories of jelly beans, do you believe that that's the same? The process is the same? No, it's not. See, we have 3 macronutrients. We have protein, we have carbohydrates, and we have fat. And each one of those macronutrients have a certain amount of calories per gram, right? So carbohydrates and protein is 4 calories a gram, and fat is 9 calories a gram. So at that point, everybody goes, oh, fat's bad, stay away from fat. It has too many calories in it. And that was all part of another lie that we're not going to get into right now. But each one of those macronutrients have their own unique metabolic pathway. That means they're processed totally different. Matter of fact, when you look real close, protein, when you consume it, has a higher thermic effect than carbohydrates and fat, meaning when you consume it, your body burns more calories in taking in that food, digesting it, processing it, blah, blah, blah. So protein. Now, that doesn't mean you rush out and just only eat protein. You want a balance of food. And you want that balance for a whole bunch of reasons that would take forever, would take days, a conference of a lot of experts to explain that. But the take home for you is that it's not about calories in and calories out. One of my new clients, 60 years old, I get on the phone with her yesterday, and we're beginning this process of getting her where she wants to be. And she's got a couple of big challenges because she doesn't have a lot of weight to lose. She has 10, maybe 15 pounds she wants to get rid of. And she's matured in life. And so there's some things that we got to improve on to make the weight loss more effective. But her mindset is wrapped around calories in and calories out. Oh, and it drives me crazy because it can't be, it's not that. Now, can you lose weight by bringing your calories down? Absolutely. People do it all the time. But what are you giving up? What are you sacrificing as a result? Most people have no clue that they're creating disruption with their gut bacteria. They have no clue that they're establishing a hormonal imbalance that creates all kinds of other problems. They don't realize that they may be malnourished as a result of that. And with bringing their calories that low at times just to lose weight, they may be cannibalizing their own muscle, which means they're slowing their metabolism, which means after they lose the weight, it's going to be harder to keep the weight from coming back. And when the weight does come back, because it will most of the time, it's going to be more difficult to lose the weight. So calories in, calories out is not it. It's really about how you eat. Like what we teach is how you how you combine foods in a way to maximize how many calories you burn when you eat the food. Helps with your energy levels, and we're always looking at nurturing your gut bacteria. And as a result of doing that and planting the seeds and being consistent, and in the words of my friend Michael E. Parker, creating a culture inside of you that supports the outcome, the quality of life that you want, is not about calories in and calories out. It's about how you combine foods, whether you're vegan, vegetarian, meat lover, doesn't matter. And meeting you where you are, we show you how to make the most of the foods that you're going to consume. All right. The second thing is that ethnicity, age, body composition, and your gut health play a huge role in how you're able to lose weight. Matter of fact, okay, just on gut bacteria alone, depending on where you are with that, dictates a lot about how many calories you burn, how many nutrients get absorbed and utilized when you consume that food. It plays a big role in the delivery system. And so someone who has a disrupted microbiome, gut bacteria, then they may have a little bit more difficult time losing weight. Think of all the people that you know, and it could be you, that have yo-yoed over the years, done different diets, taken antibiotics here and there. Well, if that's the case, let's assume there's a disruption of your gut bacteria, dysbiosis. Let's just assume that. And I think that's a pretty good assumption, right? Because I live my life assuming my gut bacteria is not where I would like it to be. Therefore, I create healthier gut bacteria by the way I live, right? So the Diet for Your Life methodology is all about eating in a way that's going to get you the outcomes that you want to include nurturing my gut bacteria. I mean, not to say that I wouldn't have caught COVID or how I would deal with it, but when I look at the last year since COVID hit, I have a lot of friends who wore masks. They did the distance thing. They stayed in the house. They did they went over and beyond. I did over 80,000 flight miles during COVID. I went to 13 different states during COVID. I conducted a clinical trial where I was with different people from all different walks of lives every week for 14 weeks. I interacted in restaurants and did it all. And yes, I wear my mask. I actually wear a mask, but it's not the mask that ideally one would wear. But my point being is that your gut bacteria makes up about 70 to 80% of your immune system. And when I went and got my, vitamin D checked, I was above board. And most African Americans are deficient when it comes to vitamin D. So everything that's in my favor to include nurturing my gut bacteria, I believe has really helped me. If I did catch it and didn't know it, because I was tested 11 times last year, there was no symptoms. So that could have happened. But my point is that way more people will be out of balance in comparison to me, right? Because I actually live what I talk about. And that doesn't mean I won't get it. I can still get it. But my point is that your gut bacteria is critical. It's crucial. And I'm getting ready to do a big presentation on all of that. And I'm going to be teaching people the role of real life, activity and food, not supplementation, but real life prebiotics, probiotics, postbiotics, and then I'll talk about symbiotics. But that's coming soon. So I'll be alerting you guys on that because I'm going to keep it very, very real. And I'm going to share some really good information. It's going to be a 3-parter. Okay. And then I had someone ask me yesterday, they said, well, you mentioned ethnicity. What does that have to do with anything? Well, we know that Venus Williams is not obese, but according to the BMI, she is. We know scientifically, and these are all based on studies, that a 5'5" Caucasian woman at 120 pounds compared to a 5'5" Asian woman, same weight, the body composition is going to be off. And it's proven. So we know that most African-American women, for instance, have more lean muscle tissue, bone density, just naturally. And as a result, the body composition is going to be off. That's why we focus a lot, with all people, on body composition and not what the BMI is saying. So we had these algorithms and these things in place that took into consideration the role of being, what your ethnicity is, what your age is. And when you meet people where they are there, then you can maximize. But I go into this reality that the more mature you are, the more you want to look at your microbiome, your gut bacteria, as we put you in a position to not just lose weight, but increase energy throughout the day, improve overall health throughout the day. And so you learn about what foods to avoid and what foods to eat and how you're going to nurture your gut bacteria from being a desert to becoming the Amazon. Because the more diverse that gut bacteria is, the healthier it is. And most of the experts that I've met, the literature I've read, the studies I keep coming across, they all agree that the more diverse the microbiome or the gut bacteria is, the healthier it is. And the way you get a diverse microbiome, right, is variety, diversity. And then certain things are better than other things. So when people want to maximize, that's where we come in. So if you want to learn about that and you want to be a part of that and you want to end the struggle, if it's weight loss, reach out. If it's better health, reach out. If it's bringing down inflammation, reach out. We have something for you. And we have some coaches that are being trained and are trained to help you, to include yours truly. I'm loving it. Yes. I was actually a little saddened today. I got up early. I was going to work out. I had a couple calls. And I said, you know what? I haven't been to McDonald's in a while. Talking about gut bacteria. Yes, I can bring up McDonald's. So I go to McDonald's because I played a role in a product that they had called the Egg White Delight. So I was like, let me go get an Egg White Delight. And someone had told me that they had gone about 2 months ago to McDonald's and they didn't have it or they ran out. So I go over there and I find out. Okay, you guys let me know. I find out the Egg White Delight that was sold all over the world. It was a whole grain muffin, English muffin with egg whites. It is no longer. I could have teared up. It's no longer being made available. Let me know if you know anything about that. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Anybody have anything they want to ask me? Any questions while you got me? I'm getting ready to go to some thrift stores. My daughters are in the thrift stores, which is interesting. Because when I was a kid, you went to thrift stores when you were, when you didn't have any money. That's where the poor people went to get clothes. But boy, was I wrong. And I'm sure I was missing it back then. The thrift store is like amazing. I mean, I'm looking forward to going because I want some cast iron skillets for my cooking show. I bought a couple the other day, but I want some more. That's why I'm going. So I'm excited and happy. And they have a plan on what they're going to do. And then, I think they got a little side business now where they want to get some clothes and they're going to like do some cool things to them. And then they're going to like make it available to, I don't know. So it'll be fun. I'll let you know how it goes. What's up, Dee Dee? Ruth Ann, I'm not sure what you're asking. She says, this may be my problem with holding on to my weight. Gut bacteria. Ruth, email me. I'm telling you right now, you guys. I mean, I've been at this for a long time, and many of you, you've known me for many, many, many years. 9-10 years ago, I was talking about microbiome. 5 years ago, I started talking about it more. 3.5 years ago, God set things up for me to meet this amazing lady named Dr. Sabine, who is the queen of the microbiome. And every time I talk to her, I take everything to another level. So the last 3 years have been condensed. And even I was telling our coaches like a little over a year ago, I would make comments and I say, you guys, anytime you see anything on gut bacteria, read it, just read it. There's a lot of information, but this is where they're missing it, Ruth. And this is where you'll benefit. Diet for Your Life, we have a methodology, right? We have a system, how to make fat burning meals, fat burning snacks. So no one else, even though they may say, eat more vegetables, eat more of this, eat more of that, avoid this, they don't give you a system, a plan, a step-by-step on how to do it. They don't. They just say, eat more of that and tell you the problems if you're not eating it. But no one's showing you how to do it. That's a game changer. So with our methodology in place, it's easy for me to help people, Ruth. And that's what we're doing. I mean, I got a whole bunch of clients that I'm working with. I'm coaching. I threw myself back in the field. I'm in the game. And look at Dee Dee, who is on here. She's rocking it right now. She's down over 50 pounds, killing it, getting off metformin and all kind of other medications. I mean, she's focused and she's helping other people do the same thing because she's a coach. So there you go. Get your hands in the air like you just don't care. But yes, it is playing a role, Ruth. I looked at one study, seriously, where they measured how many calories were utilized as a result of eating certain foods. And the study was based on these people's microbiome, their gut bacteria. And the more disrupted it was, the less calories were burned. So when you're malnourished, right? So if you're not getting certain, all right, actually, let me say it like this. For years, when they focus on calories in, calories out, they would talk a lot about how dietary fiber is not metabolized. I was trained on the same conventional wisdom. Well, we now know very clearly that it's the dietary fiber that's a prebiotic that your probiotic, your gut health, uses to be fueled. So energy is being expended. It's not just net, and it's the kind of energy that you want your body to engage with. I mean, come on. That's right. Look at Dee Dee's almost 60. Can't wait to celebrate with you, Dee Dee. What's up, Monique? How are you? I am from Canada. Bought my kit in 2014. Well, glad to meet you, Monique. Hey. It's funny. A lot of people, back in the day, whether it was Food Lovers or the Diet Free Life program, came in contact with me in Canada, and then my ex-wife is Canadian and my kids are dual citizen. So they're both Canadians and Americans all in one. Hey. All right. So now I'm starting to get carried away. All right. Any questions, you guys, while you got me here? Any questions? Yeah. June babies are awesome. Anyone who's a Gemini, you get points with me. So I'm a Gemini. Dee Dee's a Gemini. We got this. Also, if there's any thing you want me to talk about, whether it's how certain medications work, breakfast ideas, I mentioned I'm getting ready to start doing some cooking segments as part of a bigger show. So anything you want me to touch on, I'm here. What's up, Lori? Lori's, how's the weather out there? The sun is shining in California, but it's not warm. The sun is shining. That's I feel like someone's, putting the carrot, they're dangling the carrot in front of us. The sun is shining, but it's not warm. Now, I know some of you are in a place where the sun's not shining and you would love to be able to see the sun and get some, I get it. So I'm not complaining. I'm just sharing. Okay. Oh, Amy just asked me the question about kombucha. It's interesting. Kombucha is a probiotic, so it has live bacteria in it that, we have live bacteria in us, which helps create more live, thrive. But there's also some negative effects with kombucha. Same as there's some negative effects with kimchi. I think in kimchi, it's packed with a lot of sodium. And in Korea, where they eat a lot of kimchi, which is fermented, same as kombucha, that is considered, live fermented bacteria, they have more stomach cancer in Korea. And there's some negative associations with overconsumption, if you will. And I know I hate to even say it like that, because when you say over, compared to what? And I don't have anything compared to, but as I'm working with you, Amy, when we have our next coaching session, I'll share with you exactly what I mean by that. But I think it's good, but don't only consume it. I wouldn't consume that every day, not based on what I understand. But, as Americans, North Americans, a lot of us who are catching this, we live in a world where the pendulum usually is all the way to the left or it's all the way to the right. And we're lacking that balance. So when they say, oh, gut health, eat this, gut health, take this supplement, people just go to extremes. And we don't even know. There's so much we don't know about a lot of this stuff. But the thing that I've learned since 1995 and that I encourage all the time is variety. Just try new foods, experiment with different fruits. Eat a fruit you haven't had in a while. Eat a vegetable that you heard about. You want to try it. Cook your meat a little differently. If you have a fatty meal, make sure that you're not consuming every meal that's rich in fat, because that puts stress on your gut bacteria. That puts stress on other organs in your body. So variety. Okay, Vicky says, hi, I'm new to your program. Do you include exercise and how often? Vicky, our entire process is meeting a person where they are. And that's meeting them where they are mentally, psychosocially, culturally, financially. And so everyone's different. We don't have a canned approach like, hey, everybody do this. Now, I have done that. When you write a book, it's like a canned approach. When I did an infomercial product, it's a canned approach, and it doesn't work for everybody. And that's how I got to this place where I created a program for women over 40. And we have something for everybody else, and that doesn't mean every woman over 40 is going to have these challenges, but we can rule out those things. And by going in, I would say 80 I would say 80% of women over the age of 40. I would say 85% over the age of 50. And I would say 90% over the age of 60 could use a makeover with their microbiome. So depending on where you are, and then depending on how many kids you've had, how many times you've have had to take antibiotics, how many diets you've done, all of that plays a role in how we would work with you. Now, when it does come to exercise, surprisingly to a lot of people, exercise actually increases healthy bacteria in your gut. It also like basically turns on a whole bunch of opportunities, enzymes for your body to maximize its ability to burn fat and you to lose weight, makes you more efficient. So exercise is your friend. Okay. Monique is 65. Well, welcome to 65, keeping it live. Thank you, Dee Dee, for always being there and being a major support. Let's see here. Someone asked a question. Can I go back up? Yeah, I can. Shannon, what's up, Shannon? Shannon Coleman says, yes, please, breakfast ideas. What slow carbs are good for breakfast? All slow carbs are great. I was reading some studies on all berries. Berries are like beans, unbelievable. When you're talking about getting healthier, cutting down inflammation, setting yourself up for success, slow carbs can be your friend. So most vegetables, if you will, are in the slow carb family. Not all, but most, right? Because yams, sweet potatoes, those are still vegetables. White potatoes, red potatoes, they're fast carbs. Most of your grains are fast carbs, but we provide people with a full list of what's a fast carb, what's a slow carb, etc. So we can get you more examples to help you like make a meal. But to give you one, I'll share with you two, and then I'm going to say goodbye. I had Greek yogurt this morning, and that was my protein source. And then I bought the kids a whole bunch of berries yesterday. So I had a cup of strawberries. That's a portion of slow carbs. And then I bought some blackberries. Someone had them the other day, and I was looking. I was like, man, I haven't had blackberries in a while. So I got some blackberries, and I had some blackberries that I mixed into my yogurt. So I ate the strawberries on the side, and you could switch it, or you can do it however you want. And that was my breakfast today. And then yesterday or the day before, I wanted some salmon. So I pan fried some salmon as my protein, and then I mixed it up with some Brussels sprouts. I actually posted it, and that was my breakfast. Done. It was Brussels sprouts, onions, and mushrooms all mixed together. And I used Mrs. Dash and like onion powder when I was like stir frying. And I did everything on the pan. So most of the things I'm going to do in my cooking segments are going to be pan fried. And you can cook it however you want, but that's how I'm going to show you how to do it. And then every time I cook, I'm then going to show you how to make it into a meal. And that's where the power is, right? Because when Rachel Ray does a cooking segment, it may be beautiful, but there's no guidelines. There's no like, hey, you made this pasta and this is what it looks like when I make a meal. They just show you how to cook it. They don't tell you how to eat it. And to me, a lot of people will make that lasagna and they'll eat that lasagna. No guidelines. They'll just eat it. So anyway, okay. That's about it for now. Okay, you guys have a great weekend. Drink your water, even when it's cold outside. Drink hot tea. Drink a cup of coffee. Add honey to it. That's a great product. Keep in mind that honey is that thing that, that's a creation from God. And what's so amazing about it, like when they dig up tombs over in Egypt, they actually find inside these tombs stored honey, and it's still edible. See, honey does not spoil. And I had one of my friends said they went to a registered dietitian, and the dietitian says, Robert, or that told them that honey was high in sugar. I'm like, that is so sad, because that person just lied. And where did they get that from? So That to me, those are moments that make me upset, because in a roundabout way, when someone's in a position to influence, to share information that is perceived as credible, and they tell that person to stay away from that honey because it's high in sugar, then that person believes, they assume, okay, they must be right because they are the dietitian, they are the nutritionist. But in reality, that's not true. Honey's your friend. Okay. I love it. The benefits of honey is amazing. Now, if you go and get a big old thing of honey and just drink it, the same with maple syrup, the same with a lot of things, is that excess consumption of certain things that set us up for failure. So anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend, you guys. Be well, be safe. I'm Robert Ferguson. Thank you for giving me this chance to share information with you. And please share, check out our YouTube page, like, subscribe, so you can get updates when we make them available. You will be the first, or one of the